Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Theorist, here with your host, Vanity Pride, and we're just gonna dive into this review after a quick announcement. But yeah, there was like so much happening with this chapter. I took like a shit ton of notes, like nearly 2 pages worth of notes. It's really insane. So it's a lot to get through. So I'm gonna be like all work and business today and not so much play, but who knows. I always try and like keep the videos like a reasonable size, but then you get me talking like this and it's just gonna last longer than I need it to or expect it to. But anyway, we're looking at 44th Floor, The Last Station New Wave Part 2. Of course, SIU took his hiatus, or is taking his hiatus. So we'll read that note at the end of the review. But for now, before we dive in, I do want to give a shout out again to Durango. I know I did it at the end of my video. I know last video was long, so I don't know if Durango, stuck around for the whole thing, or like if they missed the end announcement thing. But anyway, Durango, there is a message for you at the end of my video at the end of my previous video. Wow, I can't even talk. But anyway, since I have you here, and it's the beginning of a video, I'll just repeat my announcement. So I apologize again for the delay with the Kundrasi one-shot. I know it's the prequel that you wanted to Thinking About You. I will get working on that, and I will definitely have it out next month, probably like in the later half of February, toward the beginning half of, or did I say January? February. Toward the beginning half of February, I will have my Koma Egi 2-parter one-shot released. So that's also something to look out for. But I know you're crazy about that Kundrasi prequel, so I'm sorry again that I failed you, but I promise it will be out next month, so be on the lookout. But anyway, back to Tower of God, because there is a lot to cover. So, Karaka so the chapter begins with Karaka and his servants, and I'm not going to read through the whole thing, because it's a lot that I have to cover, like I said. So, one of the servants asks Karaka about Bomb, like, oh, what are you gonna do about the candidate slayer? And, Karaka's all nonchalant, and he's just like, oh, well, leave him be for the time being. I can always replace him if I don't like him, but I'll keep an eye on him for now. And I'm like, dude, don't even pretend that you don't care, because you do. I know that you do. And, because how can he not care if he was willing to step in to whatever battle Bomb was involved in, kind of being a middleman, like, especially with the whole Calivan thing, how he just, like, stepped in and then he's like, oh, well, Jinsung's not really dead. Like, he's questioning, I was gonna say Evankel, wow. So, last episode, I kept saying Hansung a lot. Now this episode, I'm gonna be saying Evankel a lot. But anyway, Karaka had stepped in and was questioning Calivan. So it's like, Karaka cares. He's just pretending that he doesn't care. And then, second of all, I laugh that Karaka says that to his servant, and I'm like, dude, Evankel's not gonna let you, now I can mention Evankel, Evankel's not gonna let you, like, lay a finger on Bomb, if you try to dispose of him. So, Evankel is on the way, and sure enough, like, a few panels later, he actually sees Evankel through the window of the ship. Alright, so let's see, what's this next bullet point? Also, when Karaka talks about killing those who did this. Oh, yeah. So, I think there's going to be a face-off between crazy-ass Mashini and Karaka. Because Karaka is basically vowing revenge against anyone who put Jinsung through the state, right? Like, nearly killing him, and, well, Karaka doesn't know about the arms thing, but once he finds out, he's gonna want to enact even more revenge against those who did this to him. So, of course, that's Calivan and Mashini. So, yeah, like I said, if he faces off with Mashini, I think that would be super cool. Keeping in mind, I forget who it was, but someone on Webtoons was saying something about, like, oh, Kun should face off against his sister, and Rock should be in on that, too. So I kind of like that idea as well. There's, like, a lot of people who could take on Mashini, especially if what I predicted last chapter actually ends up coming true, where, Mashini is trying to throw everyone into battle against each other. And then, you know, in the end, she wants to be the one who kind of brings everyone back together. So, you know, if she's going to be like the next villain, I guess, after her father, right, Zahard, then everyone's going to go after her and want to target her. So I feel it would make sense for there to be various different face-offs. You know, maybe not necessarily directly with her, like especially if she has like servants working for her. So maybe before they can reach her, people would have to face off against her servants, which would be kind of cool too. And it would be kind of cool to see what kind of servants she acquires, or which of her trusted servants will be there when she takes over. Again, assuming that this actually comes true and happens and whatnot. All right. So then there were a few moments where I was laughing this chapter. And one of them was this dude, right? He's from the Po Bidau family. Because at first I thought it was Gustang, and then I was like, no, he looks a little bit older. But I was just like laughing at like his wig, hat, like beanie. Like, I don't even know what the hell to call this thing. But I'm like, dude, like, who are you trying to replicate? Are you trying to be Einstein? Or the March Hare from Alice in Wonderland? Are you on some Alice in Wonderland LSD shit? Like, what the heck is going on? Like, this fashion sense is crazy. And, like, I'm pretty bummed that the dude didn't even get a proper introduction. I'm like, I want to know. I mean, obviously, he's related to Gustang, because he's from the Po Bidau family, as it has been established. But I'm like, okay, is this, like, an older brother? Is this the dad? Is this an uncle? Maybe even a grandparent? Because, like, I mean, everyone looks so young because the aging, of course, is different than in our world, right? Because, you know, you see, like, Andrasi, Yuri, hundreds of years old. Who knows how the fuck old Zahard is, right? Probably thousands of years. So I'm just like, okay, I need to know, like, who this Gustang dude is. Or Po Bidau dude related to Gustang. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. And then the fact that Cheonhee's eye was open randomly, I'm like, what? I was like expecting so much from that eye. And now that it's open, I'm like, you know, and it's all exposed and stuff. Let me fix my camera here. Okay, there we go. Now that the eye is all exposed and stuff, it's just like a normal eye. And I'm like so disappointed. I'm like, what? SIU? Like, I was like built up with excitement to see what would happen with this eye. I was expecting like a laser eye. I was expecting like the eye to have like, you know, this hazy cataraxy feature to it. And it's just her normal eye. And I'm like, what? What does this even mean? It's kind of a letdown, but I mean, unless she ends up using it for something next chapter, like if she's, well, I don't think she would be defiant against this dude, especially because the ship is so huge and belonging to someone from the Po Bidau family. Like, I don't think she's going to do anything with her eye per se, if there is a power behind it, but it would be cool to see, and I would love to see it, so... So yeah, I don't know what the opening of her eye prompted this chapter. I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. So another thing I noted was the halting of Cheonhee's ship, right? Because like she's talking with this dude, with Beanie Dude, I guess we can call him. Crazy ass Beanie Dude. That's gonna be his name. Since we don't have a name for him yet. But anyway, so him stepping out of the ship, and, you know, obviously halting Cheonhee's ship, as well as stalling them. Because, like, he seemed to be talking for a while. Like, they had a conversation for a long time. So it kind of gave them enough time for Gustang to teleport the hostages onto his ship. And, of course, the only hostages going into a ship are not Yuri. Yuri stayed behind, but Rachel and Uraha. See, this is confusing. When they capture both Yuri and Yura, it's like they're one letter off in their name. That's why I was like saying Yuri, and I'm like, no. I even specifically put in my notes, but not Yuri, and I still said Yuri. Or was about to say Yuri. But yeah, so they were able to be teleported by the manta ray thing, or ray. I don't know if it's specifically a manta ray, but yes, you get what I'm saying. All right. So then from there, we jump over to Baum, who is thinking back, or having a flashback, basically, of what Elaine Kaiser told him. You know, she had heard from Jinsung, like, oh, hey, like, if something happens to me, you know, go check on Bomb for me. And, you know, she was back in the process of climbing the tower again, and so that's why she was able to come to the rescue and all that. So I thought it was cool to get those answers, because I was like, oh, like, I wonder, like, how she was able to find out and, like, how she ended up here. So I'm glad we could establish those answers. And yeah, so while Bomb is thinking back on this, like, he's in a room all by himself. And so Evankil and Hansung show up. And Evankil's like, hey, you, I'm taking you under my wing. So I'm just, like, so stoked for Bomb to say yes, which he will at the end of the chapter. I know, spoiler, but can't hold back. All right. And then, talking about laughing this chapter, I don't think it's awful, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Is it awful that I laughed at the panel where Dad Lee was falling over? Like, he's a douche. He deserves it. Like, I don't care that this man is handicapped. This is awful for me to say. I feel guilty saying this. But I don't care that he's handicapped and falling over. Like, he's a douche. He's a douche toward his kids, and he gets upset when his kids are coming to help him. It's like, oh, you didn't come fast enough. I don't think that's what he said, but it's like along those lines. And I mean, he's like bossing them around, like, hey, you need to surrender and turn over these regulars to the army. And So Young is so opposed to it. But like, this man is just like so deranged and out of his mind. Like Berlizzi would say, he's still on his bull. Like, I'm like, dude, you need to chill the fuck out. But honestly, I want to shine some light, show some love to So Young, because what she said this chapter was amazing. I'm glad that she's opposing her father, standing up for what she believes in. She's not a coward, unlike her dad. So let me go ahead and read that bit real quick. And because I always love an opportunity to voice act. And then I'll express my thoughts on what she said and, you know, what I think could potentially happen next chapter. So let me scroll to it real quick. Scrolling past all the things we just talked about. Oh, those fire moves of Evankil's are still the best. I love seeing them. All right, and then crazy ass Dad Lee's face. It's just scary, dude. All right, so I guess we'll backtrack to what Dad Lee said. One of his lines, well, two of his lines, and then we'll jump into the So Young thing. All right, so Dad Lee first. Do you really want to go back to that? It's not too late. Hand those guys over to the Royal Army and save us. No, you're right. We ran away from the train and have been living in hiding. But we didn't do that because we wanted to. I hurt my ankle in a fight with a guardian on the train, and Soa was afraid I would get hurt or killed in battle. So we went into hiding to keep that secret from everyone. Luckily, we survived, and when we arrived at the station, we felt so grateful to you for welcoming us with open arms, Father. And we were so taken by the peace at the station that we settled here. But we didn't think you took us in because we were cowards who ran away. If we have to be cowards to maintain this peace, then I refuse. I'm going to do the right thing, no matter what dangers may be waiting on the outside. Now I know this peace you created is fake. I don't want to live in a world of fake peace anymore. I want to at least fight to defend my peace. And he's just like looking at her, not saying anything. Like he's not even fazed by what she's saying, really. So based on all that stuff that she just said, you know, she's opposing her father's order, defying him. Like, she's speaking up. She's brave enough to speak against him. And like I said, I loved that. But my worry is that the dad might try and kill her. Like, this is the last that we see of them this chapter. But next chapter, we could potentially see the dad try to kill her or, you know, try to do something. Maybe he has another hidden bomb. I don't know. But that's my worry. And then to me, you know, I'm calling Soa cowardly. I mean, I like the fact that So Young got to shine and have her moment. I was kind of bummed that Soa, or disappointed in Soa, really, that he didn't have the courage to speak up as well. Like I said, I don't know if it was just to kind of, you know, maybe SIU just wanted to focus on So Young. Or, you know, maybe Soa isn't a coward. Like, you know, he's kind of letting her speak on behalf of both of them. And I just feel like she's braver, and she's willing to stand up for what she believes in more than Soa would. Like, Soa's still, like, a little bit afraid to, like, oppose the dad. Because we even saw that, you know, earlier on, well, I guess, like, a few arcs ago, but earlier on this floor. There we go. And, you know, like, he wasn't, like, she was very opposed to what the dad wanted to do, but then the brother, you know, he was, like, still kind of siding with his dad. But anyway, I could keep talking about this, but I want to move on to other stuff. But yeah, so I feel like Soa could have at least backed her up or something, too. And then I was saying, sorry, I'm just like, so overwhelmed with all these notes. So my prediction for next chapter would be that, yeah, the dad tries to kill So Young or tries to do something to her. And then I think what would be cool is for Soa to kind of step in and be the middleman. So if Dad Lee suddenly tries to, like, stab her or something, like, I want Soa to sacrifice himself. I mean, he doesn't have to die, but, like, he can, like, step in and, you know, defend his sister, put himself between the two of them. So I think that would be, like, a beginning stage for him into, you know, being more brave and courageous and, you know, kind of becoming more like a sister, where, because, like, Soa, to me, isn't a bad person. I know, like, earlier on I was saying that I think he would have the capabilities of, like, betraying his dad, and because I didn't think the dad was that bad either, but, you know, he progressively got worse and worse. But now, like, I guess, like, I appreciate Soa a little more. I respect him a little bit more. So I'm hoping if he can step up his game a little bit, then I would love him even more. Like, I don't want him to die, but if he's willing to, you know, kind of get between the two, if the dad tries to do something to the sister, like, that would just complete his character. Like, it would be like a transformation, and I would love that, just to see him go from, like, you know, this cowardly kind of obedient dude towards his dad, right? Or his adoptive father. But then it's like he becomes his own person. Like, it's nice. It would be nice to see that kind of growth, personally. All right. So then we'll jump on to other characters, Wang Nan and Mi-seng this time. Wang Nan is trying to leave. Mi-seng is following behind, and she's like, oh, like, you know, where are you going, or whatever. I forget what she asked him, but she's joining him. Oh, okay. Are you really going to leave without saying anything again? And, you know, Wang Nan's like, well, we can't tell Bomb that Prince and Akraptor are dead. Like, Bomb's already dealing with enough grief and hurt and all that about Jin-sung, who isn't really dead, but Bomb doesn't know that. And, to, you know, to add to that pile would be, like, too much. And then, you know, Bomb would be, like, going crazy and want to get even stronger to avenge all these people's deaths now. So it's, like, it's better if Bomb doesn't know. Which, you know, I don't know why Wang Nan would want to leave. He could stick around, but maybe he's just afraid to, it's just turned around. Sorry. Okay. I just, like, noticed that. I'm like, it's not facing the right way. But anyway, maybe Wang Nan just doesn't trust himself to lie or, you know, to keep the truth hidden. So that's why he wants to flee. But anyway, Karaka stops them in their tracks. And I guess I'll go ahead and read Karaka's line really quickly here. Oh, okay. Let me read Wang Nan's thoughts real quick. He says, damn it, even Jin-sung was in danger this time. But all I did was lie around doing nothing. So he's crying. I was too weak to do anything. I want to get stronger. So he's in the same, he has the same mentality that Bomb has. And I do have a prediction for that, but after this Karaka part. So then Karaka's like, there you go, running off again. Do you always look for an excuse to run away? Come with me. I'll tell you where to go. All right. And that's where we leave off with them. So then my prediction for that, based on Jin-sung, wow. Based on Wang Nan's thoughts, and then Karaka saying that to him, I'm like, okay, like, it almost seems a little cliche, because I feel like it's almost mimicking the Evankel-Bomb relationship. Because, like I said, Bomb is grieving Jin-sung, he wants to get stronger, Evankel is offering to become his teacher, which Bomb will accept. So, you know, I think it's cool if Karaka were to take Wang Nan under his wing, but I feel like it's too much of a repeated thing. I mean, there is a parallel because Bomb was the protagonist for season 1, and I mean, he still is for season 2, but toward the beginning of season 2, Wang Nan was like the protagonist. And, you know, them both wanting to become stronger, you know, because they feel weak and they've lost their friends. Like, there's that connection that they have. And so, I don't know. Like, I think it's cool, but I also think it's cliche. I'm like, oh, well, I feel like Wang Nan's kind of like in the shadows behind Bomb, whereas Wang Nan should kind of be his own person, I guess. And granted, I mean, both of them need to grow, which is important, especially progressing more up the tower, because, you know, the enemies are only going to get stronger and the challenges are going to get tougher, and they have to get strong. You know, there's no stopping that parallel likeness. But yeah, like, I think it would be weird if Karaka were to suddenly be like, oh, well, I want to take a student under my wing too, and then he, like, takes Karaka takes himself under his own wing. No, Karaka taking, Wang Nan under his wing. And I mean, that might not be what Karaka's trying to do. Maybe, because, like, Karaka did say that he'll tell Wang Nan where to go. So that doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, we're going to the training grounds and I'm going to train you. So I might be looking into it too much. But like I said, it would be kind of cool to see Karaka and Wang Nan have that relationship of like teacher-student. But at the same time, I feel like it would be too much of a repetitive theme. Like, especially with like the Bomb Evankel thing coming up. So those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Because I always have to ask you what you guys think. So that said, comment below what you think will happen. And then there's other things coming up that you guys can agree on me with. I can't even talk. Or disagree on me with too. Like, I'm totally open to, you know, your guys' original thoughts. And, you know, we might not agree on stuff, but it's cool. It's cool. Like, I love being able to see different sides to things. I know in the last episode that I did, someone was disagreeing with me on Caliban, which is cool. Like, I don't mind. Dude. Okay, speaking of Caliban, so I recently became friends with Nia D. Hemmings. He is also a Tower of God reviewer. And he has, like, a new theme song that he's gonna use, and it's called Caliban. Like, this man got a song. I'm like, what? I'm like, Bomb doesn't even have a song. Coon doesn't even have a song, but Caliban already got a song like that. And I'm like, what the hell? And it's a cool song, too. I'm like, I don't like Caliban that much. But that song, man, that song is, like, rockin', dude. So, go check out Nia's YouTube, and, He posted, like, a sample of what the opening song is going to be. I don't know if he's used it yet. I tuned in a little bit late to his live video today, but maybe it was there in the beginning. I don't know. I'll have to check back. But, yeah, like I said, there is, like, a sampler video of what it's going to sound like, so you guys can check it out there. And there's a link to the artist's SoundCloud so you can hear the song in full. It's a good track. I cannot deny that. All right, so back to more stuff on this chapter. So, Coon is still at risk, which is really scary, you know, but, you know, Rock is reassuring everyone, like, oh, hey, like, Silver Guide Turtle, which of course is Evan, had promised to show him how they could wake up Coon, and that's by getting in touch with, the old fire-breathing turtle, but it's someone from the Yeon family. I don't think it was the family leader, or was it? But anyway, it's someone from the Yeon family. So they can't use Yiwa, but someone from her family is able to help them. So hopefully they can get that done soon enough. It seems like they're going to go do that because Ship says here, we may be climbing. Okay, so he says, great, let's do it together. We may be climbing the tower separately, but we're all on the same team, right? Plus, Bomb's got a lot on his mind right now. We want to help wake up Coon too. And so I'm like, okay, is there, like, possible foreshadowing with this? Like, I'm a little bit scared because I feel it almost hints that they will come to a point where they might end up backstabbing each other. Because it is, like I said earlier, it's going to get harder to climb the tower. Like, the challenges are going to be tougher, and then you have other opponents, and I'm betting, like, as they progress, like, less and less people are going to be able to progress to the next floors. I mean, you look back at, what was it? The second floor that they were on. where they had like, it was like what was it? You had to eliminate like a certain number. Oh yeah, I think you had to kill off like 200, or like 200 people had to be left from that big old group. And, you know, that's obviously how Bomb met Kun and Rock and all that. And then they had to form their group of 3. So it's like, you know, you started off with so many people, that cut down. And then as they've progressed their way on the different floor levels, like, you know, less and less people are going to be admitted. Like, you can't have like 200 all the time. So, you know, that's what I'm thinking. It's like, oh yeah, like right now you guys are separate teams, but like, who knows? And I mean, they don't necessarily have to backstab each other, but the challenges might force them to do that, because it might be like Kun's team versus Ship's team, and it's like, you know, and it's like if only one of those teams can pass on to the next level, it's like, well, you're gonna have to like face off with each other, and you know, it might not be pretty, but you gotta do what you gotta do to make your way up. So that's like, I don't know, just what Ship said, it made me think of that. And I'm like, ooh, man, that's going to be tough if that ends up happening. I mean, not everything can be rainbows and butterflies for this story. Like, I think something like that is bound to happen, where one team's going to have to stay behind, or even if it's not a team, even if it's individual people, like some people are not going to surpass it, you know, not going to surpass all the challenges. All right. So enough of that. There is a conversation that Karaka has with Hwaryun, and basically she tells him that Madarako is going to arrive there soon in his warship, and he can basically make the warship invisible. And that way, they'll be kind of taken in refuge there for a while, and it helps them to not be tracked down by Caliban, because Caliban basically loses sight of them at this point, or when, you know, they're taken up into Madarako's ship. And it just gives them a chance to, especially for Bomb to get stronger, so then he can be able to face off against Caliban. And then, like I said, maybe there's potential that, what's his name, Karaka will train Wang Nan. Who knows? So yeah. Alrighty. It's a lot to cover. We're running on like 27 minutes on this video. All right, so we then go to Rock and Bomb. Okay, there's Madarako. I can show a picture of him. And then Caliban finds out that their ship disappeared, so he can't do much about that. All right, so anyway, Rock and Bomb, like I said. So Bomb tells Rock, like, oh, Lord of Ankel said she would accept me as a student. And then Rock is like, is she a strong turtle? And I'm just like, oh, like either Rock is a little bit jealous of Evankel, but I think mostly it's Rock being like, okay, not just anyone can train you. Like, they've got to be the best of the best. And I'm just like, oh, Rock, so precious, always looking out for his turtle. And let's see. There's another foreshadowing thing that scares me about this. So I'll go ahead and read this Rock bit for a sec. Okay, so we'll start with Bomb's line here. I'm worried people might get hurt again like this time if I go looking for revenge. Oh yeah, because he's not sure if he can get strong enough to face off against Caliban, and then he's like afraid of losing people. And so Rock is like, what a ridiculous thing to worry about. And Bomb's like, Rock? Rock says, don't show me your weak side, turtle. You're my prey. I'm going to hunt you someday. You're not allowed to act like this around me. It kills my urge to hunt you. I entered the tower because I heard there's lots of tough prey in the tower. Just like they said this place is crawling with prey stronger than me. But still, I don't want to stop climbing the tower or hide. Only turtles who hide from enemies because they're scared would do something like that. And then Bomb says, hunters charge into the enemy's lair knowing they might lose their head. They could even get themselves killed. And then Rock says, but that doesn't mean they're weaker than their prey. Prey thinks strength means staying alive. But a true hunter challenges those who are stronger than him without being afraid of dying. You're both the strongest prey and hunter that I have ever set my sights on, turtle. No matter how strong your prey may seem, never give up and hide. Only the hunted do that. You have to be a hunter. And so after hearing Rock say that, I'm like, oh no. Like, it'll be later on, way later on in the story. But I think that Rock could potentially be a death for later on. Don't hate me. Don't kill me for saying that. Don't give me dislikes on my video for saying that. I honestly think that. I mean, it's horrible to say, I admit. And I love him, and I know a lot of people love Rock. But I mean, that speech was so powerful, you know? And it just, I don't know, there's like some symbolism ringing to it, you know? So, again, it might just be me looking too much into it, but I'm like, whoa, like, just those words that he spoke, like, they ring so true. And, I mean, it's a risk, though. It's a risk for you to, like, face off against someone stronger than you. And, you know, there's a risk, obviously, of dying, but you can't be afraid. Like, you have to be confident with it. And I love that Rock has that attitude. My worry is that, you know, too much of that confidence could lead you to a path of, not so much destruction, but, like, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried for Rock later on, but not right now. Right now, he's fine. He'll be fine for a while. If he were to get killed off, I don't think it would be anytime soon. It would be way later on. I mean, SIU even admitted in his hiatus note, like, oh, like, there's still several years for Tower of God to keep continuing, which makes sense. I mean, we're still on the 44th floor, and there's, like, a bajillion more floors to keep going up. So, I'm just looking at the time. I'm like, I've never stayed this late at my workplace to record a video. Yeah, so like I said, don't kill me. I love Rock. And I'm hoping he doesn't die. But I mean, you know, we've lost a few characters already. Prince, Akraptor. We're bound to lose more. And I'm not saying that anyone's going to die anytime soon, especially if they're going to be hidden by this invisible ship. You know, everyone's getting stronger and training and all that to keep moving up the tower. And, you know, face off against Caliban and, you know, other enemies and, you know, just future enemies in the upcoming challenges that they have as they keep climbing up the tower. But anyway, I keep talking too much. All right, so I'm going to read these boxes real quick. So after warping away from the battle that day, the last station vanished like a ghost. And after losing most of his main army, Squadron Commander Caliban had no choice but to retreat without gaining anything. And after that day, a rift began to form. A rift began to form between massive powers that became too big to coexist. All right, so then we go to Gusting, and he's calling Rachel Vermin. A lot of people were commenting on that on Webtoons, being like, yes, I loved that. He called her that, and it made my day. Anyway, tell me, Vermin, since you brought me 3 important gifts, I'll grant you 3 wishes. So, I don't want to take up too much time trying to brainstorm what her wishes might be, but earlier I was checking out Haku's live reaction, and I thought it was cool that Renan and Quix PP left their thoughts on what they think the wishes might be. So we'll start with Renan's first. Rachel's wishes, in my opinion: beauty, to rival Yuri and Elaine; power, similar to a hard princess, to rival Andrasi; great Shinzu control; and quality, to rival Kun. So yeah, I agree with those. Those would actually be good wishes to make. Quix PP says, I think she'll want her body from the hidden floor, right? Which ties into the beauty. Something to ignite Emily. Yeah, that's true, because, like, we're not done with Emily yet. Like, I miss Emily, and we haven't seen her in a while. But yeah, like, in order for Emily to make a comeback, that wish would be very vital. And that'd be very interesting. And then 3, a minion like the Manta Ray. Yeah, because I think the Manta Ray, like, Gustang will take it back. So I don't think, you know, he'll let her keep it. But then again, if he does let her keep that, then she still has a 3rd wish open if we look at this possibility of 3 wishes that she has. But yeah, I would have to agree with the beauty one for sure. And then, I mean, it just takes you back to when she was talking with Andrasi, like, oh, like, you're a beautiful, strong princess. Like, it's everything that she wants to be. If anything, doesn't she want to be a Zahar's princess? Because maybe that might be a wish that she makes then. One of the wishes that she makes is to become a princess. So maybe it's like, beauty, become a Zahar's princess. And then something to do with power, I guess. Like the Shinzu control, or just power similar to you know, fellow princesses if she becomes or wishes to become a princess. All right, so yes, I need to give proper credit to the people. And then shout out to Haku of the Tubes. All right, so final point, finally. I'm sorry, these videos have been dragging so long these past few weeks. There's just like a lot to cover. Like, I feel like especially this chapter was so long. I just like kept scrolling and reading and I'm like, wow, this is a long ass chapter. I'm glad SIU is taking a break. All right, so final point, then we'll touch base on SIU's hiatus note and then we'll call it. So, of course, the last panels that we see are of Baum coming up to Evancal and being like, yes, I accept to be your student, which we already knew was going to happen. But it's a great ending scene. And it helps to prompt the beginning of next chapter. Because I feel like next chapter, if anything, maybe time will skip ahead and Baum will be in the middle of training with Evancal. I think that happened with Edwan, maybe. Where it's like, he accepted at the end of one chapter and then like the beginning of the next one, he was already in the process of training. So maybe it'll be something like that. Which would, if that were to happen, it kind of defies my thought of the Dad Lee trying to do something to his daughter. So, I mean, it could still happen, but you know, we'll just wait and see what happens. I don't want to keep running circles with my predictions here. This video is long enough as is. All right, so like I promised, we'll read SIU's hiatus note here, and then we'll call it. So, hey guys, I'll be taking a little bit of a break for a few weeks. Me too. Unfortunately, I'm going to be taking a break before starting the next episode. I try to avoid skipping uploads whenever possible, but for the sake of the health of myself and my assistants. Good man. I love that. Someone in the top comments for Webtoons was saying the same thing, like, oh, like, SIU's the best, and then him looking out for his assistants. It's very nice, and all of them deserve breaks. They have done such an amazing job with this story. And it's crazy how long it's been lasting and how much more there is left to it, as SIU will say in a little bit. Let me start that over again. I try to avoid skipping uploads whenever possible, but for the sake of the health of myself and my assistants, as well as out of a desire to make the next episode even better, I have decided to continue publishing after getting some rest. I have been publishing Tower of God for a long time, and there's still lots of work to be done, but the hardest part has always been meeting the deadline for the following week's release. This has been going on for several years, this has been going on for several years now, and I also need a chance to prepare the story for the next few years. Yeah, next few years. We got a lot of Tower of God still left, which is exciting, but I'm like, dude, it's lasting a long time. In a market where trends and systems change so quickly, it's still hard to see where this is all leading, and I have a few different possibilities in mind, but once I get going, it will be a nonstop rush to meet the deadline each week. A lot can change while I'm away, but I'll make sure to be more prepared than ever. I'm eternally grateful to all the readers who have stuck with me on this long journey. You all give me the strength to keep publishing this webtoon. I still have a lot to learn, but I'll never stop trying to improve as an artist. I'll see you all again in March 2019 when the weather starts warming up. Thank you. And he provided a sketch of course, Baum and Jinsung, which is so adorable. I love this art piece. It's one of my favorites for sure. But yeah, so since SIU is taking a hiatus from releasing more episodes or chapters, as you'd like to call them, whatever you like to call them, of Tower of God, then I will be taking a break as well. So I will see you guys in March in regards to TOG stuff. I'll still be around. I'll try and dive into more DRV3. I haven't watched a few episodes for a while, but I might upload that. I still have to upload part 4 of the reactions, predictions video that my guy Bestie and I did, so that'll be coming out later this week. And yeah, I mean, I'll see if I do any more videos with him. I think it'd be fun. I just don't want to, like, spoil stuff for him, like, especially because he's still playing 2. So I kind of thought about, like, oh, maybe we can record ourselves, like, playing 2 or something, but... or Danganronpa 2, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Sorry, my chair just squeaked. And, of course, I'll be, like, active on AO3, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the one-shots that I'm working on. So, yeah, I won't be missing. And you guys can always catch me on my social media. You know, you can reach out if you want to talk Tower of God. So, yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in and sticking around on this long video. I apologize, but I appreciate it very much. And like I've said before, leave your comments below, your thoughts, your theories, And yeah, I hope you guys have a great February. Like I said, I might see you in a video or two, I don't know, but we'll see what I come up with. But Tower of God, taking a break on that, so for obvious reasons. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will catch you guys sometime soon. Peace.